story time. I said I was going to have a story time for y'all. One of my law enforcement story times. This was one of my. Let me see which one am I going to tell. Guess I have to tell. Okay. I had just came on duty, and let's see. There was a guy that had let's see, how was it? He had he was with his girlfriend. Him and his girlfriend or wife was had gotten into an argument, a fight or something, and I think the father turned their excuse me, I think a pit bull dog turned him loose on the guy, and the dog ate his ass up. So because of that, once the police had to answer the call, we had to end up bringing him to the hospital to be checked out before he could go to jail. So we take him to the hospital, and we're sitting on him. And when we use the terminology sitting on him, we mean we have to stay with him until he's checked out at the hospital. So we're sitting on him at the hospital. It was me and I think another guy. So we're sitting there, and he's upset, which I guess I would be too. But we're sitting there doing really nothing, waiting on the doctors, waiting on the nurses, and we're sitting over close by the it was radiology, and over there by the radiology there was a radiology door, and this door was a thick wood door, and half of the door, it had a metal plate on it. It was half of the door had a metal plate. So this guy was pissed off because he was ready to leave. Well, every so often he would start complaining about leaving, and then we would have to let him know, you're under arrest. So I don't know why you sitting here bitching and complaining, because you're not going anywhere. So he started cursing out the nurses, and then we would get on to him about shutting up. So I'm sitting there, and I was paying attention to him because I don't trust a prisoner, and it was like hours and hours sitting there, not doing anything, just wishing that the doctors and nurses would hurry up, because this guy was like, I'm 5 foot even, and I think I probably weighed probably 140 pounds. Compared to this guy, he was He probably was 6 feet. He probably weighed 200. And he was angry, and he had all them dog bites in his on his arms and legs. Um, so I'm sitting there, and the other officer, he was, I think, reading the newspaper or watching TV, watching sports or something. So this guy decided, once again, he's complaining, cursing out the nurses. And for some unknown reason, he decided he was going to get up. Oh, he stood up. And when he stood up, when he stood up, I got up. Then the officer that was with me, he got up. He was a Hispanic officer, and he starts to argue with the suspect. When he started arguing with the suspect, they was going at it. He spits on the other officer, and when he did, then he turns to me, and he just football tackles me. He hit me so hard, he threw me into that radiology door, that the door that had the metal on it. My head, face hit that metal door, and it knocked me out. Well, when that happened to me, then the Hispanic officer had called for some backup. Well, what he didn't realize that when any officer from any department that's in that hospital that's sitting on other suspects or prisoners or whatever, if they're in that hospital in the ER doing the same thing that we're doing, and they're here for assistance, they are going to be there. Well, when that officer called for assistance, for some backup, he didn't realize that it was like 10 officers on his ass like that. And I'm laying over there out. And when I was out, it didn't knock me completely out. It did, but I came right back. But I was delirious. I didn't know what I was doing. I got up and I started walking around, and they had to grab me because I didn't know. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And when I kind of got up and I looked, I seen those officers throwing that guy on a gurney, and they was up on top of that gurney. It was like probably 2 or 3 officers on the gurney on top of that guy, and there was officers surrounding that gurney, pushing him to a area that had curtains. And so I knew what that meant. Well, and hopefully he knew. If he didn't know, he was going to find out. Um, so he thought he was in bad shape by those dog bites. He was going to be in worse shape. After spitting on and doing what he did to an officer, a female officer at that, he was going to be in worse shape than he already was. So they grabbed me. I ended up being in the hospital myself after that. I think I was in there overnight. And let me see, was it overnight? I think so. Yeah, overnight. And so that was another one of my story times of being the fighter that I am. I just happen to be. I'm one of those police officers that they know I don't mind getting into fights. You can't be scared, and they know I wasn't, and mainly because they know I worked out a lot. I was in good shape. Even though if you're gonna get injured, that's just part of the job. But I was in good shape, so I bounced back. So that's just who I am, D-Cop. So, all right. Hope you enjoy this story time. All right. Y'all have a good one. Oh, well, it's early morning time, so have a good morning. It's Saturday morning, and I'll talk to you later. I may have another story time. Thanks. Peace.